Hi again, church family. Pastor Michael here. Before I get into conversation of hope for today, I do want to address a couple of things. First off is this is a Wednesday, not a Tuesday and a Thursday. I'm shortening down these videos to one a week, just because we're just inundated with information right now. So just going to be this on a Wednesday every week. So I expect this for the next while. And with that too, the second thing is for the next while, we're not sure, even with the phase 1 opening happening tomorrow, we're not sure when our church will be able to meet together. The restrictions that they have for a place of worship are quite extensive, and we don't meet those. So we will continue to do our church service online. We'll continue to do life group meetings and other meetings via some form of online thing like Zoom or a Facebook Hangout or whatever, which one you want to choose. And we will continue on this way, and I'm not sure how long. With that, the conversation of hope today, you may have heard a child say, "Oh, how much longer?" Maybe you're driving along and you're trying to get to grandma's house and they'll say, are we there yet? How much longer? And that's maybe what we've been feeling lately with this pandemic. How much longer can we go on? And now we've got a little added aspect to it, is they're opening some things up. I'm not going to get why or my opinions on it, but they are. And we may react in a way that may be very abnormal. In some of my readings in care for people going through this pandemic time, I found one where it outlined 3 different psychological aspects that could happen to people. So I'm just going to go through them really fast. But I think what's most important is to give us hope, give us encouragement, give us something that we can hang on to mitigate those psychological issues that we may face. First one is agoraphobia and OCD tendencies. Big words. Agoraphobia. That is actually the fear of leaving your home. And OCD, the actual definition is hyper-focused anxiety or fear about something that drives a needed action. So you're doing something in a repetitive way, that OCD kind of tendencies. Now, the idea here is not to self-analyze yourself. Try to figure out, okay, this is who I am, or to put yourself in a doctor's note and say, yes, you have this symptom, you have this disability, if you want to call it that. These are just some things that we may experience going through this time. Agoraphobia, fear of leaving the house, even now when we open up things. The surveys have actually recently have said people are actually not willing to go out. They're not willing to kind of go to the familiar that they used to, even though they're relaxing some of the restrictions that we have. That being said, not everyone is excited about these things. So we may in our hearts and minds, we may experience agoraphobia or OCD. There also may be experiences of burnout and trauma. For those that in our congregation that are serving our community, those nurses, those doctors, those in our town that have to do a lot more work here, this can be challenging. This is a real cause for burnout and possibly trauma. The expectation of those that are on the front lines is you're caring for your own health, but then you're also added the burden of caring for a whole lot of others. We appreciate what you're doing, by the way, but you got to be careful that burnout or trauma may be part of what you're experiencing right now. Thirdly is addictions. Some of these psychological things that happen to us is we go towards those addictive things to try to cope. I've already talked a lot about anxiety and how we can mitigate those things in previous conversations of hope. But sometimes addictions do. This is a kind of a petri dish of things that can grow with all of the things that are happening, not only the pandemic, but also the social distancing and all those different things. So it's ripe for addictions to either start or to rear their ugly head. This is a cause for concern, these three things. Addictive habits, burnout trauma, agoraphobia or OCD tendencies, they can happen. So let me help you with those three things by giving you three practical ways that we can actually mitigate these. Firstly, self-care. Sometimes in our Christian view, we think self-care is actually selfish. And it's not. Self-care means to actually care for yourself, have an awareness of what is happening to yourself so that you can actually say, oh, I am feeling this way, therefore I need help. When you're feeling tired, when you're feeling lonely, when you're feeling angry, all those things, we need to be self-aware. Self-care is important. Jesus modeled this for us. When he was tired, he went away. He regrouped. He got some time. He got some focus. So if you're feeling any of these three psychological aspects that could possibly rear the ugly head, remember to be self-caring. Jesus said, we need to love others, but love others as you would love yourself. And so he's pointing to this self-care aspect. I'm reminded of airplanes. Have you ever been on an airplane? You know, the beginning emergency things that they go through, the mask that drops down. What do they always say? Put the mask on yourself and then put the mask on the person that you're caring for. You have to care for yourself. It's important. Secondly, communication. So if you're self-aware and you're realizing that you're feeling these things, then you need to communicate. You need to be honest with yourself, communicate to others that this is how you're feeling. And pray. Please pray. We have the opportunity to talk to the creator of the universe, the one that holds the stars and the earth all in his hand. He cares for you. So communicate to him, but also communicate to others. He's put people in your sphere, your little area, so that you can get help from each other. Which leads me to the third one, which is caring for each other. Romans 15, 1-3. Near the end of the book of Romans, and Paul here says, we who are strong have an obligation to bear with the failings of the weak and not to please ourselves. Let each of us please his neighbor for his good, to build him up. For Christ did not please himself. So the idea of caring is actually we're caring, if we're healthy, care for those that are not. But not in this idea that you're going to be the savior, that you're going to help them. Oh, it's all about me. Let me help you with that. No, it's actually the focus is not to please self, but as Christ did not please himself, but to please the neighbor for his good, to build him up. I hope these words have been encouraging and that you will be continued to be blessed and allow us to be part of that blessing. If there's struggles that you're going through, please contact either myself or Pastor Aaron, and we will try to help you. You can go onto our website and look at the Go aspect. We so want to get through this pandemic together without having any psychological barriers or issues that come up. Be blessed and do take care.